Ryan Skyy, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. These are one of my favorite types of conversations to have. People I've never met before. First time, this is us talking, sitting down. How do you feel so far?
I'm excited. I'm a little nervous because I'm on the other side of the conversation. I'm usually the host and the one prepared asking questions. So now I'm on the other side and I don't know what to expect, but it's a good feeling. I like it.
Yeah, it's less work, like we talked about earlier, for you. You're just here for the ride. We're doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Mostly them.
Yeah, I just showed up.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I love that. I really love that. Whenever I can just show up to places and then do my thing. That's been the theme today since I've walked into the studio. I'm actually helping my buddy Peyton shoot something after this. And I love that. You know why? Because I can just show up. I don't have to prep anything. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of spontaneity with it when you just get to show up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more of a person that likes to plan things.
Mm.
Yeah. How about you? Do you like spontaneity or do you like to plan?
I like to plan. However, knowing he's just given me a rough outline of what I need to do, I'm like, great. And then I'll go with the flow. There's a balance that I think I've prepared with my life.
Yeah. Have you heard about the new dating app Snack?
No.
This is not a plug, but
we just took a left turn and I love it. Go ahead.
The reason I thought of it, so it's supposed to be a dating app for Gen Zs, which I'm not Gen Z, but I like new things I like new technologies and new ways of doing things. So I thought, well, maybe they'll let a millennial sign up, even though it's for Gen Zs, and they did let me sign up. But you take this, it's dating, and it's kind of like the TikTokification of Tinder. So rather than just swiping, I haven't quite figured it out yet, but the reason I brought it up was because you take a personality test.
Yeah.
And it said that I'm a Kit Kat. It said I'm a Kit Kat.
Thanks for coming on the show today, Ryan. No, I'm kidding.
And I'm compatible with Starbursts, and I forget the other one, but I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Oh, they like came up with their own terms?
Yeah.
For like different person. Interesting.
Yeah.
This sounds like the Gen Z.
It's like we've got to take complex personality analysis and we've got to put it in Gen Z terms.
Gotcha.
So like you're a Starburst, you're a Kit Kat, but
What?
yeah.
You hate this. Your face this whole time.
Something about, I remember it said something about the Kit Kat. Basically, like, we're no bullshit. Like, we're direct. You know what you're going to get from us. We like to plan things out.
By calling them a Kit Kat? That's so nuts.
Yeah.
Do you like this app?
I didn't see anyone cute on there yet, so far it's not so good. But it was
Fair
interesting. Yeah. I think they're still trying to get people to adopt it.
That, respectfully, is one of the worst things I've ever heard of. I can't. That is so. I don't
see
know.
this working though.
What?
I see a world where this works though. I see a world where people really like this.
Ryan, you're not Gen Z, right?
No.
How old are you?
38. Just turned 38.
30. Oh my God, you look so young.
Thanks.
Yeah. So.
I'm like super into biology and I take tons of supplements and stuff. So.
We'll talk about supplements in a little bit.
Okay.
I have my list of supplements we talk.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
By the way, it wasn't like I hate you with that statement earlier.
Sure. I mean, I didn't create Snack. I'm just
okay. Yeah. I just want to make that clear for our listeners. Be like, wow,
I'm just testing it out.
Ryan. Well, here's the thing. This is why this annoys me. I think, and this might be a controversial take on this. This very high level of interest with identifying ourselves with certain generations, for instance, Gen Z, Gen X, Gen whatever, right? I would understand that more if we as a society and we as a culture really cared about the next generation and what they're being brought into. I would understand that identifying of what generation you're from and that proudness of, I come from Gen Z, I come from Gen X or whatever. But there isn't that. So it's just this narcissistic kind of pride associated with your generation when you don't even know, whenever you don't even care about the past generations, and sometimes it feels like you're angry with when you're angry with the past generations and you're also don't care about the future generations. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah. I think it's a bit of an archaic way an outdated, archaic way of looking at the world, because I can see originally they were trying to understand groups of people and how they relate to other groups of people in the world. But now the things are changing so fast. Like I was just thinking the other day about the car, right? It's been 100 some years, around 100 years.
More. Yeah, 110, 120.
But to go from inventing the car to now we have electric cars that are almost autonomous in such a short period of time is amazing to me. And I think this idea of labeling generations, I don't know how much longer that's going to work, because society's moving so fast. You almost have to break, like Gen Zs are almost going to have to break them up into even more groups if you actually want to keep operating that sort of way.
Right.
Right.
And instead of determining your self-worth, I've been my pronunciation of stuff has just gone out the windows. I might be over supplementing actually. Anyway, this obsession with sub identity groups is just really interesting to me. Without the, like, what does it mean to be a Gen X? Let's just give that for an example. What does that mean at its value? Like, what's the core? What does that mean you're born in the Gen X generation, Gen Z generation? Like, what does that mean? What kind of life ethics do you have? Do you care about does that generation care extra about your community? Does that generation really care about helping the homeless, Like, what at its core defines you instead of just, I was born in this time and we're all cool?
It's a generalization of how do they think and what are their values and what's their worldview. But you're literally summing up a whole generation of people and trying to say that about them.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's realistic anymore.
No, and I think you're getting empty shells of people with that. There's something actually kind of scary. This is kind of leads into it. I hate the Paul brothers, Jake and Logan Paul. Do you know them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot stand them, like, with a passion. And recently I saw this video on YouTube where this young boy was like, I guess he was into boxing. He was probably maybe 10 or 11, and he was like, they were like, who's your favorite boxer? And he's like, Jake Paul. And it's like, first of all, Jake Paul is not a real boxer. He dabbles in the boxing world. And then second, he wanted to be a social media influencer when he grew up. That's what he wanted to be. Not, like, what does that even mean? Like, what do you want to influence? What type of social? No, he just wanted to be famous. You know how scary that is?
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, that's an interesting thing, because I think our minds are wired to take the path of least resistance. Mm-hmm. And so for a young kid coming up, that idea, I could see how it would seem like, oh, well, would require the least amount of effort for me to achieve something meaningful or noteworthy in my life.
And it's very empty. It feels like just an empty eggshell. There's no substance to it. And it's scary to me because I don't see it getting better. It's just gotten progressively worse and worse and worse. So,
can I throw my 2 cents in this?
Please.
I think we are just in a very interesting time, because, like, a lot of kids nowadays, I hear it from, like, teachers and everything on social media. Like, a lot of kids, like, when they grow up, they want to be a YouTuber. They want to grow, like, that's a new, like, career. Mm-hmm. Like, kids are like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. And I think it's because we're in an era right now where we all have phones. We all have, like, TikTok. We all have YouTube. And it, on the ground surface of it, it looks like anybody can achieve this, Yeah. Because we all have cameras in our pockets. We all have access to YouTube, to TikTok, to everything. So on surface level, anybody can be a famous YouTuber. Zeke could be a famous YouTuber. You can. We all can, because we all have the means to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, anybody can become a famous YouTuber.
Yeah. It seems so achievable. So I think a lot of kids are like, I'll just start uploading videos.
And it checks off a lot of potential boxes in a kid's mind, I could see. It's like, okay, what does it mean to be a famous YouTuber? You have value, perceived value in the world. You have attention. You feel seen. You feel important. Certainly, there's the security aspect of financial security. So to a kid who maybe doesn't have financial security, doesn't feel seen, doesn't feel important. They don't know who they are. They don't have an identity. I could see why that would be a draw. And maybe it's just an experience that they need to go through. Like maybe they need to pursue trying to be a YouTuber and then realize it's not for them. And then, because I kind of feel like your 20s is kind of like, you should just try a bunch of different things. Your 20s is kind of like a bunch of like fuckery. And then in your 30s, you know who you are. And you kind of, I've tried all different kinds of things before I got to doing what I'm doing now. And I don't know that I regret any of it. Like, how about you? Did you do that?
To answer that just in a little bit, I think my opinion about this has evolved. It's a double-edged sword. You're right. You bring up a lot of good points. The accessibility thing is huge, especially for people who live underprivileged lives, for sure. That they might feel like, you know what? I can make my life better by doing this, and there could be some good that comes out of it. It's the issue that I have with is the people that are influencing the younger generation. They don't promote anything. Like, I'll give an example, like Jake Paul. Like, what do you what positive thing do you really promote? And then I compare him to somebody like Mr. Beast. You know, those are extreme examples. I understand that, but let's be realistic here. The amount of good Mr. Beast does with his YouTube celebrity is leaps and bounds more positive than what the Paul brothers have done. So that's where I'm finding the issue. Now, back to your question, and you were asking, do I regret any of my like trying to find what I want to do? I've always wanted to be an actor, and I kind of just stayed on that path since college, to be honest with you, and it's worked out great. I've dabbled in other things. I've never regretted that. Like photography, I dabbled in that for a little bit. I was like, oh, it's not for me. Dabbled enough in some music stuff like guitar and music, and I'm like, okay, I can play enough for a role. You know, I'll be all right. Podcasting is something I love to do. So no regrets. You always learn something.
Yeah. Did you see the Steve Jobs commencement speech, Stanford?
No.
And he talks about how you can't connect the dots looking forward, but you can always connect them looking back. I think a lot of the Gen Zs will realize that. They may pursue becoming a YouTuber. Maybe they'll spend some years doing it. They may not get to where they want to get. But I am a proponent. I always say to people to pursue something difficult. Everyone should be pursuing something difficult. Because in doing that, it serves as a vehicle for developing your potential. So they may not become a YouTuber.
Yeah.
But they're going to learn about themselves. They may get good at, maybe they'll find a voice. They'll find some kind of worldview, point of view that they can take with them into whatever the next thing is.
Yeah.
You know?
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show. I like what your show focuses on. I used to have a actors podcast before this called Actors Anonymous, where we would focus on people's failures rather than their successes. So I really love hearing about people's struggles and what they learned from it rather than all the good times they had, because that's enjoyable for a little bit, but then the real substance is whenever they felt like they were on the bottom and they clawed their way back up. So I think those stories are really necessary to keep a person growing, evolving, and to learn and just copy from people. So yeah, kudos. And your show is on Tuesday nights, and you've been doing it for a while now, seems like, right?
I have, but I took a break. I did it. I took like a year and a half break between seasons 2 and season 3, and I started it in the pandemic. Did 2 seasons, and then I had a change up of management and personnel, and so I took a break because there's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes, and for a moment it was just me afterwards, and I thought, oh, this is a lot for me. I need to like streamline this, and so I kind of took a minute to rebuild my music project.
Right.
And then when I felt like I had the support and the system ready to do it, plus I wanted to upgrade it too, because we weren't shooting video. There was a lot of things I wanted to do with the new seasons. I wanted to have video. I wanted to have a more robust, I guess, offering on social media the way I just knew like I was going to be editing a lot of things, and And I just wanted to wait. So yeah, it was about a year and a half, but now we're back up with season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're talking to people about these dark times, do you feel a little bit of yourself like absorbing like their lessons that they've learned and applying it to your personal life?
Do I find myself absorbing? I can relate. I try to share first when I can to kind of like give them permission to also be vulnerable and share.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything is negative stories, but I do find that there's I could see myself in them. There's like a shared humanity when we're sharing these stories, and usually I get surprised. It's like a pleasant surprise when I hear things that they've gone through, because the musicians that I interview on the show, most of them are doing well in the industry. They've gotten a fair point of notoriety, but it's so great to hear their stories because it humanizes. It's like, okay, this is doable. Like this achievement, like these kinds of things are doable because here's just a person. And they're explaining things that they went through that I went through and that I know other people have gone through. But it's like you need to hear it.
Yeah.
Because you don't really see it if you just read their Wikipedia or look on their social media.
Absolutely not. You ever hear the story of the Chinese farmer?
No.
Okay. Chinese farmer, he's farming his land and a bunch of horses come in. And they start grazing on his land, and he's able to keep them. And the villagers go, "Hey, this is awesome. This is great. You just got a bunch of horses." And he's like, they're like, "This is a good thing." And he's like, "Maybe." And then the next day, his son is trying to tame one of the horses. Horse kicks his son in the leg and breaks his leg. And they're like, "Man, that's terrible. That's terrible that your son broke his leg." And he's like, "Maybe." And then the next day, the army comes along. And they're looking for men to join their army. And when they come up to the farmer's son, they're like, "Oh, we can't use you. Your leg is broken." So the villagers are like, "Oh, well, that's a good thing they didn't choose your son." And he's like, "Maybe." So the moral of the story is like, you don't know the benefit of what's going to happen to you whenever something good or bad happens. And I think that's a very... This is going to be so granola of me to say, high vibrational frequency of looking at the world. But that's what it is. It's a higher self. It's your higher self looking at situations for what they could be or what they couldn't be, rather than swinging on the emotional pendulum of like, "Yay, I got the horses. No, my son broke his leg. Yay, my son doesn't have to." Because that living life like that, man, you just go wherever circumstances take you instead of finding that inner peace. Does that make sense?
It makes so much sense. Like,
you're welcome,
yeah,
man.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
There's a...
I'm joking.
No, this is...
joking.
I mean, this is exact... I'm with you on this. There's a Stoic quote that says, it says, "Excellence withers without a worthy adversary."
Say that again?
Excellence withers without a worthy adversary. You need an adversary. You need struggle. A lot of people search for happiness. They want happiness, but they don't realize that happiness comes out of struggle. It comes out of obstacles. It comes out like if something is, another Stoic quote, if something is in the way, that becomes the way. I know I'm like throwing all these quotes at you.
No.
But,
I dig this.
But these are the things that I think about, because there's been so many times in my life where something terrible happens to me, and then down the road I look back and I'm like, oh, that was actually one of the best things that ever happened, because look, it led me in this way and I went down this path and I started, because of what it led to. And when going back to what I said before about everyone should pursue something difficult, happiness arrives from pursuing something difficult and watching yourself make incremental progress towards it. You don't even have to achieve that. You just have to see yourself making little progress against the difficulty of what you're experiencing. And it creates a sense of purpose. It creates a sense of happiness. So like going to what you were saying with the Chinese story, proverb story. It's a good way to look at it, and it's good to not label things, not be like, this was good, that was bad.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like, maybe I don't know if this is good, I don't know if this is bad.
Yeah, because we see life through a keyhole. That's what one of the biggest things I've learned coming into being 35 years old. I'm actually timeless. That's what I tell people.
You are. I have this Oh, not this one. This one here.
Oh, are you serious?
The timeless is in the middle.
Oh, I like that. That's pretty cool. I like how you just said.
We got a wow.
Wow, we got a wow.
I mean, like, yeah, I don't know.
What was I saying? The
keyhole.
Oh, the keyhole. Yeah, seeing life through this keyhole, because the more I'm getting older, the more I'm realizing I really don't know things 100% for like situations or events or religious aspects or whatever. Like, you never know 100% of the story. It's always a subjective truth to most of the things you experience. Very rarely, and there's only like a handful of things in my life that I can go 100% like,
Yeah,
that's true. 100% that's true. And it's brought more peace into my life. And I think there's a difference between happiness and peace.
yeah.
Happiness a lot of times feels fleeting.
It is. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
My anger, though, is always is bubbling on the inside a little bit. But no, for the most part, it's fleeting as well, the anger and happiness. But the peace aspect, finding moments of that peace, my anchors, those are what I feel help me. And that's why I always, when I'm talking to people like you, I'm curious, like, what's your anchor for a peace?
My anchor for achieving peace?
For a peace, yeah. It could be achieving peace, the process to get that peace, but what the peace is as well.
I talk to myself a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot of like talking to myself and internal dialogue. It's about really, really paying attention to my stories, the meaning I'm placing on things. I find that like if I really pay attention to the stories I'm placing on everything, even from just like, did somebody text me back yet? Well, it's been a couple days. What does that mean? Could literally mean they're just busy. And I laugh at my mind because I laugh all the time by myself. It's funny too, like when I see, say, like homeless people outside and they're talking to themselves and stuff. And I think to myself, there's not much difference between that person who's out in public speaking and me in my car doing it to myself. I mean, maybe the content is different, you know, but in terms of like speaking is thinking. Speaking is thinking. So you're either speaking to yourself in your mind, or like me when I'm driving, I'll do it out loud. And it's a way of processing thought. So to answer your question, the peace thing, I find that if I'm just focused on like my stories, I tend to like regulate myself. I have a sense of peace, right? Because I'm not getting all worked up over things, and I'm not reading into them. I'm more kind of just going with the flow. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I would say that's key, is the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a certain processing of thoughts then for you that you need to do, and the expression of it is vocalizing that out loud to yourself to really solidify those thoughts. And I think that's clever, because being in your mind a lot can fog things up. You can start being less aware and just going through subconscious thought processes that could be negative,
Yeah.
and unrealistic. And yeah,
that's why free speech is so important, is because if you are controlling someone's speech, you're also controlling their ability to think.
See, that's what I always tell them. They're always trying to control my free speech.
Guys.
Zeke, they're always
Shut up,
like,
Wesam.
they're anti.
Wesam, shut up. Shut your mouth.
See,
You
they won't let me
shut it.
talk what I want to talk.
No, stop. Think this is your world?
It is my world.
That's true.
That is true. No, but Zeke is a big like anti-First Amendment kind of person.
Whatever, dude. No, I'm not.
No, you come on, dude. Just be proud of your viewpoint. Come on, man.
No,
Zeke,
dude.
Say
come on,
it.
say
No.
it.
Out loud.
Come on, man.
What?
You're not being judged here. So you change your
He's
mind?
messing with you. That is
I
not
know.
true.
So you change your mind? You're not anti-First Amendment, right?
I never changed it.
All right, man. All right, I don't want to get into this. We have a guest today on the show. I don't want to like. Sorry about that, Ryan. Just trying to make it as real as possible for the listeners.
Yeah.
Well, this has gotten so serious. I love it. We've gotten
I
so
mean-
deep. This is great.
Yeah.
I like stoicism a lot. The issue that some people have with it is it could feel heartless at times or emotionless toward the world around you. And while at times it might seem like that, I will say this. The best ways I've addressed some really emotionally damaging people in my life has to put up like an emotional wall. And the way I put up that emotional wall is to view the situation through a stoic or stoicism point of view. And that's helped tremendously for me not to get hurt and for me to fix the situation or address it in a way that I know I won't be as emotionally anxious or stressed about. So I guess, yeah, it does detach you from certain emotions, but at the same time, it helps find that peace. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a healthy detachment. It's not a dismissal of the event or the emotions.
No.
It's just about having like I see it as having a healthy relationship with the emotions in the event.
I could tell you think about what you say before you say it a lot.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that look like? You see me look off into the distance and kind of like formulate what's going to come out.
Yeah.
You know why too is because I've focused a lot on. I don't like saying a lot of filler things like and that was a conscious thing as well. I guess I do a lot of things conscious to work on myself, whether it's my thoughts and my stories and beliefs, but also the way I speak. It's just I don't know. I'm like kind of a nerd about it.
That's wonderful. That's your process through it, and that's what you want. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
about being in the world. It's like, how do I want to be in the world? How do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. I was in an In-N-Out line recently,
Okay.
and the people in front of me, God bless them, but talk about filler talk. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was rough.
With like the worker, like the
No.
Wait.
Just people waiting in line in front of me, and it all started off. Can you tell whenever you don't like someone right away that you're like, I don't like this person? Do you ever get that vibe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were. If you go to the In-N-Out at Lancashire in North
Damn.
Hollywood,
We are calling it out.
yeah, because people need to hear this,
Okay.
and I'm doing a service to the community right now, Ryan. There are 2 lanes for the cars, okay? In the middle, you can be in person and order in person, but the line cuts through both exiting car lanes, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yes.
Everybody
Yes,
follow?
yes.
Okay. So if the line, the in-person line gets long, you're going to have to make space for the cars exiting. Otherwise, the big metal box is going to kill you, correct?
Yeah.
These 2 young ladies were right in the middle of where the car was exiting. And the person in the car was being kind, and they were just like, and they're like, you have plenty of room. They didn't have plenty of room because they would have driven off the sidewalk to do so. And then for the next 5 minutes, I have to listen to them explaining why that person was in the wrong while they were in the right. And then they continued on with the most nonsense filler relationship conversation I've ever heard of in my entire life. It was the most LA conversation you'll probably ever hear in your life.
Can
And
I
that's
get an
what-
example?
What's that?
Can I get an example?
Yeah. So like Derek is not telling me the whole story because he said I don't need the whole story, and so like that annoys me so much. Should I say something to him or should you say something to him?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
And then that just made me. Why did I even bring this story up? I forgot. I just needed to share that with you, Ryan. I feel like
We're
I
talking about filler.
filler. Oh yeah, that's what that. So that was my filler experience. That was just an experience story I wanted to share with you. I thought you would enjoy that. So yeah,
I did.
great. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Did that filler story? How did it make you feel? Like, did it annoy you? Did it humor? Was it funny to you?
I knew I'd bring it up on the podcast, so at least there's some positivity that would come from it. But in the moment, I just got done teaching yoga. I'm drenched. I just want to I'm hungry. I build up an appetite.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just thinking of like terrible things. I didn't really wish the terrible things I was thinking in my head that would happen to these young ladies. Like their fries would be way overcooked, right? They don't get any cheese on their
salt,
burgers.
yeah.
No salt. I mean, little things like that. But just living your life like that, you get a good read on people being an actor. You
You people watch a lot, I bet.
All the time.
That's your whole thing, right?
All the time. And immediately, because of their interaction with a complete stranger, when they were literally in front of the giant metal box going, go, you just can go. You can just go. Like, that to me is like, wow, that says a lot about you in just that few seconds.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's very telling.
Very. Not like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you guys good? Okay, yeah, you're good. All right, bye. Like, you don't want to create a positive impact with your community. This is what you're doing. Yeah, I get fired up about this because, yeah, it annoys me. Like, we don't live in a community like that. Like, I've been in communities where they care so much about the strangers around them that they have an unspoken rule about which side to be on the escalator so that people in a hurry can just go on the other side. It's just like little things like that. I'm like, oh, you guys care about each other here.
Yeah, there's that. When I go home to visit my parents in Western Pennsylvania, very small town, and I'll be in their neighborhood and I'll say I want to like do exercise around, so I'll walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it's a little unsettling. It's nice, but it feels weird because I'm not used to it. But as I'm outside walking, every car that drives by me, every single one like physically waves and says hi to me, and I don't know any of them. And it's very odd living here because that never happens ever here. I mean, rarely ever. But for it to be every single person, it's just a whole different culture.
Oh man. It's gnarly.
It's kind of nice. I mean, it's nice. It's
nice. Yeah. You know
yeah.
that people have your back in case something happens. Like God forbid, a real emergency, a real terrible thing. Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it was laughing as just engaged with the
He's
conversation.
just experiencing a fleeting sense of happiness.
Okay, that's
yes, exactly.
Stop feeling happiness. Be peaceful.
You're right. No free speech here on Wesam's World.
It'll come
I
and
forgot.
go. It'll go.
I'm gonna start waving at people now that I don't know. Just
I do this
It's
thing.
weird though. I'm like, why are they waving at me? I'm like, okay, I guess they're just friendly here.
Whenever people are making their left turn and I'm in my left turn on the other side, so as they're coming in, we lock eyes. I'll sometimes just like really act like I know them.
Oh, really?
And so I know that for the rest of the day I have real estate in their mind. Because they're like, who was that guy? He really thought he knew me.
You're like a little worm, like a little like mental worm. They're like, what the?
Yeah,
what
like who was that? Wait, do I know him? And
Yeah.
so it just makes me happy knowing for the rest of the day that
Do you get people that I get people that I'll meet and I have met them before and I don't remember. Most of the time I remember faces.
Yeah.
Like did you hear that? I heard that Brad Pitt doesn't have that ability. Did you hear that? You know that?
That's actually a real thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah, medical condition.
Where most of us have this ability, this wiring, where we recognize faces, even if we don't know the person. We know when we've seen them before, but whatever that is, Brad Pitt allegedly doesn't have that. Which would be very, on top of that, to be famous, and to be meeting an even greater amount of people every day. It's kind of interesting.
I think it might be because it might have been exaggerated because he's famous since at such a young age. Because of constantly meeting people, everybody just blends together.
If you ever need that ability, being famous would be helpful because of the volume of people. So maybe it like shines an extra light on that it's not there.
You know, when people sometimes try to make it awkward that you didn't remember them, I go into that even harder.
Okay.
Like I'm like, no, where do I know you from? Let's talk about that. And then I embrace the fact that, like, you know what? I remember you now. I'm sorry for not recognizing you earlier. My bad. It's just been crazy.
Yeah.
How are you doing? Like, just to really go into it more.
It can be awkward, especially if it's like a dating situation. I'm speaking from experience. I was at a Friendsgiving this past November, and it was a bunch of our friends there, and there was somebody new there that I didn't know, and we just like chatted the whole time there, like just like, hey, how are you? And he kind of like made a comment like he had seen me before, and I was like, I don't know. And he's like, oh, he kind of brushed it off. And then later in the night, I was getting ready to leave, and he made a comment about that we met before, and I was like, oh, we did? I don't remember. And he's like, yeah, I've been to your apartment. I was like, he's like, you have a dog, right?
Oh,
he's like, I've been to your
that's
apartment.
awesome.
I was like, oh shit. And I really don't remember it. So then I leave, and then I like look at my texts, and he's in my phone, and there's like I saw like a whole history of conversations happening.
Yeah, we were married. What?
Yeah, we were married.
That's hilarious.
But then when I went through it, I saw like he lives in LA now, but at the time when we hung out, he was just visiting from out of town. So I can see in my mind, I was like, well, this is never going to go anywhere because this person's just visiting, and then they're off to their wherever.
That's hilarious.
But also I thought, but he must not have made that much of an impression on me. I mean, if he did, I would have remembered. But
yeah.
So I don't feel
what's his
bad
name?
about it.
Okay.
I don't even.
Let's read the text message. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
There's definitely a few people like that in my book. Few girls that I know I've hooked up with them in certain times and locations. Just I don't remember what they look like. That's kind of terrible, right?
Did you see the new Chris Rock special?
Just the ending.
Just the ending. He made a comment about sleeping with girls.
Mm-hmm.
That he can't remember all the girls he slept with, but he remembers the ones that he's held their hand.
Yeah.
Because it's been very few.
Yeah.
And if he holds your hand, that means something. That's serious.
Oh yeah.
But if he slept with you, like,
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
truth and interesting at the same time. Yeah. That's interesting.
I did something once on a first date. Girl tried to hold my hand on a first date. I was like, no.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was like, no, we're not holding hands.
It felt weird?
Yeah, of course it did. Yeah, I'm not gonna hold her hand.
What at what point in the date? How far in?
Do you feel like bleeping stuff out today?
I
No?
can bleep stuff out.
He's down.
Shoot.
I'm ready. I got the time. I'm ready.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if it's even worth it.
Yeah. Think about what you're gonna say.
No, I'm not
No?
gonna. No.
We're not
I'm
doing
gonna
it?
save you
Okay.
some work. Yeah. It was toward the end of the date. Let's just
Okay.
say that. Yeah. I was like, no.
Had you kissed? Did you kiss at that point? Like, had you kissed at that point, but then you didn't want to hold the hand?
It's crazy. I think there's something wrong with my headphones. I can't.
I'm just curious. I'm curious about the order of things.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't want to go into it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, holding hands. Yeah, the girls you've held their hands. Yeah, I definitely remember their faces.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad, actually, to think about. Yeah. Well, not sad, just
I don't
different.
think so.
Yeah, just experiences.
Yeah.
Experience. Maybe for me, it could be sad for me, or yeah. Doesn't mean it has to be sad for somebody else, though. That's fair, right?
Yeah. It's all about where you're at in your life. Like I'm in a new phase now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Gotta ask you, what kind of supplements are you taking? That's all I've been thinking. Literally, the supplement talk has been popping into my head because I want to hear yours first, and then I'll tell you mine.
Okay. You want the list or do you want the reason?
Both. Now I feel like I have to have both.
Because the reason I'm taking what I'm taking is because last year I was touring a lot and I was starting to feel burned out. And I kind of went through a lot of dialogue with myself about like, I was starting to feel burned out from all the traveling, and I thought, is this sustainable long term? If I want to start touring nationally or internationally, I'm only going to be traveling even more. Like, do I have it in me to do that? Is it because I'm getting older? Like, should I consider doing something else? So I was thinking about these things, and for a period of time, I thought about, if I were to do something else, what would I do? And I gave myself permission to explore that. So I was like looking into like grad school, like going into back to school, and like what would I pursue? And I really just kind of like did an exercise of envisioning what that process would be like. And the more I did that, it it revived my love for music, and I realized that I would have a deep sense of regret if I made that change right now, because I put out my first single 2 years ago, and it's like it's at, I don't know, 1.7 million streams.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. And so, but that's what I thought about, was like, okay, what would my story be looking, if I stop now? It's like, okay, I put out a single, it got 1 million+ streams, and I retired. Like, I didn't follow it up with anything. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, if I had that story later in my life, I would be like, what? I didn't even try to like build on that, you know? So I realized I'd have regret. And then I thought, well, maybe I still love this. Maybe it's just a biology thing. Like, what if I can get a hold of my energy levels and all of that? So then I started researching biology. Like, I read this book called Lifespan by David Sinclair. He's a professor out of Harvard. He's like the leading anti-aging expert. He's been on a bunch of podcasts and stuff too. But I started taking his supplements, is the moral of this story, the ones that I'm taking, because through the research I found out that like you can get a hold of it. So I went all in for like 3 to 6 months. I was taking these supplements that I'll tell you what I'm taking, and it totally changed everything. It changed. I didn't feel burned out anymore. I had the energy to do what I was doing. I had more energy to do things. And I was hopeful after reading David's work, because I realized that kind of going to like the Gen Z and the millennial, like the way that we view things is also kind of archaic, because our generation is probably going to be living a lot longer. He believes that the first human to make it to 150 is alive on the planet right now. And that based on where the science is going, like whales live, I don't know the exact amount, but like a couple hundred years. He feels like humans are able to do that. So then I thought, well, shit, what if I end up living to like 120, 130? And then I look back on my life and I was like, why did I stop doing what I loved at 38? Because I thought I was getting old when I was just like in the first third of my life. So I was like, okay, I basically doubled down on what I was on the music projects. Yeah.
That's great.
So supplements.
Yeah, supplements.
I'm taking it's called NMN. Taking NMN. Sounds like M&Ms. NMN. I'm taking another supplement called TMG. I'm taking choline for my brain. 2 different kinds of choline. And I'm taking omega-3s. I take a multivitamin. I take magnesium. I take what else? I take a bunch of stuff. I started taking metformin. It's actually, I don't have diabetes. It's a diabetes drug. But they found out that diabetics that take metformin are living longer than healthy people without diabetes, without metformin. Something about the way that it works in your body, it protects you against cancer and heart disease and dementia and all sorts of biological process.
What's it called?
It's called metformin.
Let me look this up a little bit.
It was, and like the WHO.
Oh, you got it?
The WHO listed it as, it's listed as something about like a drug for humanity. They have a list of these drugs for humanity.
I love how you spelled it, met space foreman. That's all.
Metformin.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's derived from the French lilac.
Ah, interesting.
It's safe. It's very safe.
But you do need a prescription for it?
You need a prescription. I did it online.
Can you go?
I did it online.
Can you
just
click
answer
on
some questions?
What exactly does metformin do? Or that one. That's
Sorry.
cool.
No. Okay.
The top one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lowers your blood sugar levels by improving the way your body handles insulin.
Basically what it does is it helps your cells express themselves in a more youthful way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And no known side effects?
No.
That's a class A drug right there.
It's cheap too. It's
Oh wow.
It's been around for decades. That's why they have so much data on it, because they were like, all these people, and the lifespan is like 20%. So I mean, someone with metformin is outliving a healthy person by like 20 years.
Wow.
15 to 20 years. I mean, if you could get even 5 to 10 years on your life.
Yeah.
So the idea of what I'm taking, it's not necessarily about living longer. I would like that, but it's more about staying more youthful longer.
Is it a tablet for you?
It's a tablet. Yeah.
Every day?
Every day. Well, okay, this is the other caveat with it is the only downside of metformin is it does affect the benefits from exercise. The mechanism that it works, basically like the benefits you get from exercise, if you take metformin at the same time, it kind of like mutes it's not negative, but it mutes the benefits. So the key is on days where I work out, I don't take metformin.
What if I work out a lot, like 5 times a week? Should I stop like only twice a day or twice a week?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into this some more. This is interesting.
And
I've never heard
I
of that.
really want to highlight the NMN that I mentioned in the beginning because that's the most important. That's what really surprised me. So water is the most abundant substance in our body. Mm-hmm. Number 2 most abundant substance is called NAD. And as we get older, basically every organism on the planet needs NAD to survive. Every cell in your body needs NAD. If you didn't have NAD, you would be dead within seconds. And our NAD levels decline as we age.
Okay.
So that NMN that I mentioned, it's a precursor for NAD. So when I'm taking the NMN, it's boosting all my NAD levels, which theoretically, according to the science, is it can reverse aging. It, like I said, about your cells are expressing themselves in a more youthful way.
Okay.
It all has to do with like your energy production and yeah.
So out of curiosity, how long have you been consistently taking these supplements?
About 6 months.
Okay. And have you had any negative side effects?
No.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to check back in with you in 6 months.
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious. Like, just to see if you're like, actually, I kind of stopped taking you know what I mean? Because you just don't know. But that's great to hear. There's no negative side effects. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's safe.
Yeah.
It's safe.
And you're 38.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if it's helping, then yeah, keep doing it.
Yeah, it is. I'm back to doing. I mean, I never stopped doing the music, but now I'm mentally fully committed again because it's just like my perspective changed.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to take some of that. I'm gonna make a list then after this episode airs. See if I can get some of this stuff. See if I find a.
Oh, I do want to say this too. There's a lot of fake NMN on Amazon.
Oh.
It's not easy to manufacture, and the first couple bottles I bought on Amazon, even if it has positive feedback, reviews, doesn't mean it's real. You have to look for brands that have third-party testing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something.
There's only a couple.
That's something huge that I've noticed with supplements online, especially Amazon. You have to get the ones that are third-party tested, then Google search them.
Yes.
And see if people have actually tested the supplements, see if they have a legit website.
Yes.
Because there's no, like, overseer for any of the supplements you put on Amazon or anything.
Does Amazon have like a thing that tells you it's third party?
No.
No, you have to find it on your own.
If they are third-party tested, they will put it in the Amazon listing. Because it's a thing. They're proud of it. They paid for it. They're doing it because they want people to know.
Gotcha.
So they'll have it as like an extra photo, product photo. It'll show the certificate. Yeah. And actually the one that I bought on Amazon that did not actually have real NMN in it. I tried to leave a review and Amazon would not let me leave a review saying that. First I said it didn't have NMN and they wouldn't let me say that because how can I really prove that? And then I tried to change it to just saying that it didn't work for me. So I'm not even saying it's fake. I'm just saying it didn't work for me. And they wouldn't even let me leave that review. So I was like, "Damn, wow, I really can't trust these reviews."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make a lot of money selling fake supplements on Amazon. So.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm joking.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Zeke, if that was your side hustle, I would love that.
That would be hilarious. No, it's not.
And I'm not so sure with Zeke, to be honest with you, because
drugs.
Yeah.
My parents were pharmacists.
Oh
Now,
shit!
now I know for a fact you do this. You wanted to gauge our reaction.
No. No.
I apologize
I'm
for
joking.
him. He's actually our intern. He's still on probation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How's it
It's
going?
been a year almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is your second period of
Probation.
probation.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's
You should ask him how he got on probation.
I want to know that, and I also want to know:
What?
do you get like report cards and do you get performance reviews?
Oh.
No, I
We
don't. We should though. That would be fun.
We should start off.
Did I just give you an idea?
Yeah, every episode is going to be a performance review from the previous episode. So you know what?
Yeah.
We're going to start doing that for the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. So Zeke, whenever he first came on, was going to be in charge of helping out Peyton with some things behind the scenes, as well as procuring certain videos for me and my guest to watch. Now, the first few batches of videos he brought forward were they were terrible, Ryan. They were. We couldn't air any of it because then we wouldn't have a show. Idobi would be taken off air. YouTube would.
terrible in the sense of like we would get in trouble for showing
Yeah.
these.
They weren't that bad.
Yes, they were. What are you talking about? No, that's why we didn't show them.
Okay.
Ryan's like, oh crap. Okay, these guys are psychos. All right. So yeah, that's why he's been on probation. Then I had to get a hold of the computer for a while I played the videos because his computer time had to be taken away for other reasons. And
You make me
then
sound like I'm a little kid.
and then we gave him back the computer, and he's been actually doing a pretty good job since then.
Yeah.
So, but he's still on probation because you don't want to keep the stick too far away from above his head. You know, you always want it right there, just in case. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Yeah. Family dynamics.
Yeah, yeah. We call ourselves the Wolf Pack. Don't know if you know this. You join it? You want to be a complimentary member?
Yeah.
So weird, man.
The people who have just tuned in to this as the first episode are like, this is the weirdest show we've ever listened
And you want to know the best part? We gotta say goodbye to Idobi Radio right now.
Our time on Idobi has finished. So if you want to watch the full episode, tune in tomorrow on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, and make sure you subscribe to us. Thanks for tuning in. The show continues on.
You weren't nervous this time.
No, I was not.
So proud of you.
Last time I got nervous
Dude,
doing
you
that for
got
some
so
reason.
nervous.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I was going back and editing it, and it was just like the panic in his eyes when we finished on Idobi. He was like, "That's our time. We got."
Yeah, I blanked out. You ever do that? You just blank out?
Yeah. Isn't it great watching yourself back? I say that with sarcasm.
I mean, I've gotten used to it. I've embarrassed myself so
That's
many
true. You
times.
act, so you're used to it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I studied acting in college.
Okay.
And that was one of the things I loved about all the classes in college was having to get up in front of my peers, be vulnerable, and then immediately get feedback,
Oh, okay.
critique,
Yeah.
you know? And at first it's a little unsettling and feelings and stuff, and you're like,
Yeah.
you feel a little vulnerable, but then you just get used to it and you're like, oh, actually I can embrace this. I like this process.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was useful.
Yeah. I've never received negative critique or been bad in anything, so
So you don't know.
yeah, I don't even understand that feeling.
Yeah, it's fun.
My supplements, real quick. Nice multivitamin. A omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9 from wild Atlantic salmon. And then a mushroom supplement of organic, like reishi, cordyceps, and then a third bottle of a whole mix of different mushrooms as well. And then I think it's called folic acid. That's with one of the mushroom supplements that helps with cellular production.
Okay.
And then for joints, I have this stuff called Jocko Joint Warfare that has a bunch of stuff that helps with, it has like turmeric and a bunch of other things in there that helps with cartilage regeneration, tendon and ligament flexibility, and that stuff has saved my knees, everything. And plus I do a lot of yoga, so that's probably helped a lot with my joints and everything like that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's about it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I also take theanine, L-theanine. I
Yeah.
didn't mention that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's something in L-theanine and one of the things I take. Actually,
I also take taurine. It's in the energy drinks.
Yeah, this is
I
one
take
of
taurine too.
this is one of the Jocko all natural ones that doesn't have any like artificial flavors or sweeteners and no sugar. It's all sweetened by monk fruit. So yeah, this has the L-theanine. A lot of nootropics.
Yeah.
That really help out whenever I'm especially doing a show like this where I have to talk a lot.
Yeah.
Are you ready to watch some videos?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and I haven't
we
seen.
hyped him up for him, like
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, I haven't seen these videos yet. So if you don't like them, let me know, and I'll put that in my report for next episode.
Okay.
These are safe today.
Okay.
All right.
So, have you seen this yet?
Mm-mm.
This was at an event recently. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, that's Elon Musk.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Dude,
Wow. Oh.
the half-ass
look at those
attempt at
moves.
the Egyptian dude.
Oh my gosh.
I think he's nervous.
Oh.
this is dad energy right here.
Oh. Okay.
This is.
He threw his hands up in the air like I
I don't know.
He looks a bit inhibited, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I can
like-
understand.
I just like the half-ass walk like an Egyptian, but he like didn't really do it, you know?
Because he knows. If you, because you DJ, imagine you're DJing and everybody's dancing like that. How awesome would that be?
I'd wonder what party am I spinning right now?
Where did I go wrong? What am I doing here?
That would be such a trip to experience as a
I've
DJ.
had some interesting events like that. Not
You
like
have?
that, but like one event. I'll just say that I noticed it was a predominantly older crowd, to the point where I saw like people being brought in wheelchairs, like older people, and I thought like, okay, this is very
Yeah,
different
that's
from what I
weird
normally
to have
right.
a
And my
DJ.
set was obviously like the things I played there was way different than what I would normally play.
Yeah.
Because I played in my crowd, you know.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you picked
that's-
threw some oldies in there.
It was all over. Yeah.
Nice.
I love this though.
But I just laughed to myself. I'm like, they're like, but it was interesting to me too. It was like, okay, we're at a bar, at a club, and they're being like wheeled in wheelchairs. Yeah, it wasn't like it was a bar. It was a.
What's like the when we're talking like old, like what age range are we talking
It was
about?
gray hairs. A lot of gray
Oh my
hair.
God.
Is what I saw. I don't. Yeah. I liked it though, actually,
good.
because it keeps things from being monotonous. I don't have to play the same thing.
Did they have fun?
They did have fun.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
that's
there
all
we
that
go.
matters.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I like that too. But I just, it's just one of those moments where you just kind of like, oh, this is different.
Yeah. Was it like a like a last hurrah?
Whoa.
I know. I'm joking. This is why I didn't want to say it, because I knew
Well, you
it would
said
make
it
Ryan uncomfortable and you guys get upset.
Well, you didn't even say it like you just got all quiet and just went. Was it like
I have a very
you know like
I mean,
their last?
I just got really dark there,
it's
and it just makes me
possible.
laugh. Like I don't know. I have a weird sense of
It's
humor. Ryan.
possible.
We had a good life.
This is it.
Geriatric Thursdays. Club old people.
Yeah, we got it. Zeke, that's all right. Next video, Zeke.
Yeah, here we go.
We gaan er vandaag vanuit dat dat evenementen zijn die terug zullen kunnen doen.
Honestly,
You
deserved.
seen that one?
Yeah,
I think that guy was like a mayor or a governor or something,
yeah.
and the other dude got arrested. But
I love
I just
that.
thought it was
Every
great.
action, there's a reaction.
have you
I
seen
saw
this?
this.
Okay. Yeah.
This looks familiar.
I didn't hear.
Oh yeah. Oh.
How did I?
Oh, wow.
Thank God they're okay.
Dude.
Wow.
And then there's that white car in the background.
The audio on there.
She went on TikTok and explained.
I
her
love how
side
they
of the
have
story.
these to protect, and there's
Yeah.
a space in between.
Oh
That's,
no, he knocked one over.
oh,
Look,
he
in
knocked.
the
Oh,
middle.
okay. I was gonna say there's a space that a car would fit
perfectly
through.
for a
I
car.
see. He knocked it over,
Dude.
Bro.
Holy.
so they didn't stop
Oh
the
my
car.
God. What
He's
the
doing
f-
commentary.
just happened?
They were shooting a podcast. I do know
Yeah.
that. Like they go in like a little coffee bar and shoot their podcast
Bro.
there.
That's like a dream. It's like, oh my God, our podcast can go viral now.
Yeah.
yeah.
I would love.
Would you? No.
I would love for a car just to come here and hit Zeke and pin him
No.
to the table.
Or like a little tiny meteorite come through the ceiling.
You know how amazing that would be?
Not too big because we
No.
wanna
Like hit him
survive.
in the leg, in the thigh.
but enough where it's
Yeah,
it's
easy.
it's newsworthy.
Like he goes to the emergency room for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
and like he's like screaming in pain. But like,
oh, he's gonna get hit.
yeah, of course.
Why does it have to be emergency
Yeah.
room level?
Yeah. Can it just be like I got a scratch?
Just
and
like,
I can walk
ah!
away from it?
You know,
I'll
like
say
that?
urgent care.
Maybe it's like a
Yeah.
straight on the
I
leg.
like
Yeah.
that.
This is my
No
fantasy.
lasting damage.
Don't tell me what's going to happen in my fantasy. I was nice enough to stop the car thing.
Thank you.
But how funny would that be to watch Zeke get pinned by a car? Like that
That guy's
Chinese guy
lucky.
in the
It
in
always
the-
goes back to the Chinese guy
Yeah.
getting pinned by a
You
car.
Always bring
Yeah.
that up.
It's a great video. Have you seen that video? Yeah, it's a great one.
The answer is probably always going to be no if you ask me because I don't watch any videos. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
you're,
But
you're
I'm
like,
open to it. I like it. I just
Yeah.
I don't I
Yeah.
just don't watch them.
It's yeah, I love them because it's not because I'm laughing they're hurt. It's because I'm laughing because life is so real for them in that moment. You know, the
Yeah.
facade of life is gone. All it is survival, and I love that. Next video.
Yeah. Why do you love that so much?
I just explained that.
Yeah,
I
okay.
literally just
All right.
I literally just explained that.
Okay. I'll give you $1. Hold on.
You'll give me $1?
Yeah, I'll
What?
give you
Just
$1.
give-
Hold on. If you can guess what's coming.
Like an animal.
A bowl.
Well, no.
A bull.
What are they running from?
An animal?
A bowl. I'm going to
No,
say a
y-
bowl.
it could be an animal.
I said a bull.
A bull. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
A goat?
Dude, everyone's panicked.
Oh wow. Oh, it is a bull. Oh.
Oh wow.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
No,
oh.
not the
Elephant?
scooter.
Oh, dude.
Not the Vespa.
Guys. There's plenty of space in the
they could
shop.
have gotten inside. I think that dude shut the door and didn't let him in.
The bastard.
Wow.
Never shopping there again.
Rampaging elephants.
Did you see about the what is it? The woolly mammoth? They're bringing it back
Oh.
from extinction. You
What?
saw? Did you see that?
That's
Wait,
pretty
what?
cool.
Yeah. So the woolly mammoth that's been extinct,
Yeah.
right? It was around I don't know. I think the last one died in like 3,000 years ago.
I
something
like
that.
to say canceled.
It's been canceled by
The woolly mammoth has been
by-
canceled
by
evolution.
life.
Yeah,
by nature.
So it's been extinct, but they found that it shares the DNA with the Asian elephant. The match of DNA is a lot. It's like 99.6% or 96.9%, something like that.
Yeah.
And they're able to, the difference in DNA that's missing, they're able to extract it from mammoths that they've found. And they're creating an embryo. They're creating a woolly mammoth embryo, and they're going to implant it in an Asian elephant who's going to give birth to a woolly mammoth. But the idea is that they want to create 100 of them and release them in their old natural environment in
Holy
Siberia, because they used to roam Siberia.
Yeah.
But they think they're really important for global warming because they were an important part of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Because they would knock down anything that would grow too tall, so they kept everything low. They stomped down the snow, so it kept the earth. It kept like the carbon from leaving the earth. It kept it a little warmer because everything's compact as they're migrating around Siberia. So they want to see if they release 100 of them. First of all, like how do they interact? Do they
Yeah.
with our life, and does it help the environment? And if so, they're gonna make more. But it's real Jurassic Park.
I was
Yeah.
about to say we are one step closer to fucking Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
That is really cool.
that is cool. It's kind of crazy.
That
That-
is nuts.
Yeah, that doesn't actually concern me as much as whenever they find the viruses and the bacteria that they're trying to, that they've already reanimated that have been alive thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago.
You mean like the ones that they're finding in the tundra that
Yeah, like viruses, bacteria
that
that
are being released or might be released?
or no, that
yeah.
they find and they're like in a lab and they're like, oh, we
Oh.
brought it back to life, and it's like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah, why?
Like that's terrible idea, but that will happen naturally as things melt and everything.
Wow, what a
New
buzzkill, Wesam. We're talking about mammoths coming
Yeah.
back from extinction. You're over here going like we're all gonna die.
Well, if you practice stoicism, maybe you wouldn't be so, you know, run by your emotions.
Wow.
Unlike Ryan and I, stoics.
We're so peaceful.
We're at peace with this.
I've accepted my
Stop
fate.
crying, Zeke. I'm not. Any more videos?
Yeah. This guy drove into
Oh,
a closed
no.
road that was closed for a.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Wow.
Oh no!
Guys. Wow. Well, you know how to pick them.
Wesam likes to see people get hurt, so sometimes I'll throw.
Nobody got hurt.
Yeah,
No,
they're
yeah,
fine.
they're
Everybody's
fine.
fine.
They're basically fine.
I don't know. If he wasn't supposed to be there, it's the driver's fault. But
Yeah, it was.
some of those guys just didn't even try to swerve.
Yeah, but I think whenever you're in like a caravan of bikes like that, you can't.
Yeah, that's true.
I do wonder if like the car was visible from their angle or something. Like how many people were in front of them, and then suddenly they turn in. It's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, car.
True.
Yeah.
You're speaking truth, sir.
Speaking straight truths over here.
Speaking up,
This is the last one.
All right.
but I'm not yelling. I mean, I just did. Let me talk to somebody there, your boss, or I need to talk to somebody at the RV dealership. I got a question on this brand new RV, and I can't seem to get to them.
Okay, well, you called the Chevrolet store, not the RV store. I tried to tell you that at the
I
beginning.
called the number that's on the fucking door, goddammit. Quit saying that.
Oh, okay.
This fucking number, this sticker's right here on the goddamn door. I'm sitting in the fucking RV right now looking at the motherfucking number. Can you not transfer me up there?
I was in the number you need to call.
Now you're gonna give me a number to call. You're not gonna transfer me. Y'all can't transfer phone calls.
No, sir, we're a completely different store.
Technology.
We're a completely different store. I can give you the number, though.
Goddamn, but motherfuckers, you son of a bitches.
Are you done? I was about to give you a number that you can call.
I don't want a goddamn number. I want it to be transferred. I
Oh,
called the main
boy.
number on this sticker on the door.
Clearly, that sticker's not correct. I was going to give you the number. I can't transfer you. There's no way for me to transfer from store to store.
That's it. That's incredible. You know, I always feel very bad for older people who just don't have a grasp on technology.
I'm just thinking about this guy on the phone.
Yeah.
What?
He refuses.
I'm
to
just
agree.
wondering, like, what
Yeah.
what is going through his? Why is he so upset? Why do older people get upset like that? What is he mad about that he has to call another number?
He just got an RV.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
What's the frustration? Where is that?
I think it's deeper. Obviously, it's deeper.
Yeah.
Something deeper rooted, and I think it has to do with technology.
Of course, I'm wanting to unpack that in my mind. I'm like, where's he coming from? You know?
No, same. And I think it's that whole technology thing and calling people, and I'm sure like he just seems like the type of guy who's like, I can't get my email to work, you know, like he just seems like that kind of guy who just does that. My dad had one of the funniest things he's ever told me. He was having trouble logging into his email, and he was putting in his username and password into Google.
What? Like
Yep.
just in a Google search bar?
Yeah. Yeah. Because he has Gmail
Yeah.
and Google, so
I get that. I mean, they both
he
start
was
with
close.
a G. Yeah, he was really close.
He was within the same company.
My wife's, I've shared this before because they're huge fans of the show. My wife's dad, he got a virus on the computer, and it popped up. You need to call this number. It's Microsoft, and of course he calls the number, and it's not. And they were like, oh yeah, and they walked him through that thing so that like they could like start controlling the computer and everything. Basically, that like mirrored thing where they get all that, and they took over everything, and so much porn came up on the computer and everything. But what was funny is while they were calling us frantically saying like, what do we do, and we eventually told them just like unplug the fucking thing, like it's gone, it's not recoverable. I was just visiting during the Christmas season, and I brought episodes of Wesam's World with me to upload them from their computer. They started clicking on Wesam's World episodes and just watching them. Like they
That's
just
hilarious.
like they would just leave it up and like playing. And so I like to think whatever scammers were there are now just huge fans of the show.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
that's
I mean, yeah, they're pieces
nice
of
testimonial
shit.
right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, they are pieces of shit, the scammers.
But like, thanks for watching.
But thanks for watching. Yeah. It's sad how many people get caught in those scams. It's nuts.
Yeah. Have you noticed there's kind of, I think there seems to be like a porn takeover of Instagram happening?
Yeah. Have you, like, my feed is
Well, you know when you see you can see who sees your stories.
no.
You know how like if you can see who's viewed your stories. I've noticed on mine. You know, some of the people that show up, it's like a girl, or it's all girls, and she's like, fuck me now. Like it says in the name.
Bots, like the.
It says like the name of the person is like, see me come, fuck me now, and I'm thinking like, I'm not your audience for this, but
yeah, that's terrible. What's their usernames? Just out of curiosity.
I never actually clicked through to their page.
But specifically, which one?
Yeah, like specifically, like just send me that. I'm just curious to know.
Send me the like.
Yeah, there's so much of that. It's just funny what Instagram will take off, but what it will keep on as okay content. Very interesting how much you can get away with. My feed is not safe to open up in public sometimes. It's a very weird mix of things, from stoicism quotes to people getting hurt and acting stuff to I guess softcore porn. Yeah.
I would love to go on a deep dive rabbit hole adventure of your Instagram feed and your TikTok feed.
It's weird. It's sometimes unsettling. Some of the Instagram accounts, they have photos of people actually getting killed and like really hurt. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
They don't take that down? Wow.
I mean, it stays up for a while at least. I don't know how they get away with it. Anyway, hey, we should end on this note. No, I'm kidding. No, but seriously, Ryan, it's been absolutely. How was your time on the show? Out of curiosity.
It was fun. I liked this. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I like being on the other. I like being on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Was this anything what you expected the show to be like for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad.
I mean, because I'm also just answering questions the way I would always answer questions and bringing up topics that I would always bring up. So I guess this feels normal to me.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm glad. But
it was fun. I like this. I like what we have going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do too. We always like making friends with new people. So, well, I hope to see you more around here at the studio. And if people want to check out your show, it's Tuesdays at
9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern Standard Time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. And if people want to check out your music and what you're doing, they can see you at Ryan Skyy on Instagram, right?
Yeah. Sky with 2 Y's, like the vodka.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Peyton, play us out. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the show. Really appreciate you. If you enjoyed today's show, make sure you just hit the subscribe button, the bell icon, and comment below on what grade do you think I should give Zeke Duhan for his report for this episode. Yeah, it could be percentage. It could be,
A letter.
A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
Anything you think he deserves and why. Always remember to listen, think, and then talk. Bye-bye.